It was very confusing for me at that time. I don't think I was realizing what I was doing. It was very confusing, but I was just going, I just didn't want to stop. So I think I was very lucky I made it.
Why is that?
Because I could have get caught.
What do you think would have happened to you if you got caught?
I don't want to think about it.
With the help of the U.S. Embassy, Nadia arrived in New York 3 suspenseful days later. With Constantine Panit, a Romanian border runner who had helped her escape, the press descended on them. Meanwhile, in Romania, dictator Nicolae Ceausescu, embarrassed by the defection of a national hero, ordered his Securitate police to Nadia's home. They sealed off the door to her trophy room. Nadia's family was arrested and interrogated. Her sister-in-law suffered a miscarriage. The fate of every family member was in jeopardy.
I was arrested by the Securitate and questioned from morning till night for 3 weeks. Hours and hours with no food, just water. Luckily, the revolution saved us. Only after it did I discover that Elena Ceausescu had personally ordered the elimination of the Comaneci family.
Although Nadia's family was saved by the revolution, many other Romanians did not survive the liberation of their country. In what was once a children's park, the names of those who gave their lives to bring down this regime are enshrined on monuments to their courage and sacrifice. The infamous rule of Ceausescu will not be forgotten, nor will the image of the dictator executed on Christmas Day lying on the cold ground of a free nation.
For the Romanian people and for Nadia Comaneci, the end of Ceausescu was the beginning of hope, and we'll have the continuation of her remarkable story and her return to Romania in just a moment. But first, it's time for our regular feature from the pages of Sports Illustrated. Senior writer Ed Swift offers the harrowing tale of another well-known Olympian, Christopher Bowman, whose tragedy was self-inflicted and whose villain lived not in some palace, but in his own mirror.
From the pages of Sports Illustrated, brought to you by Dean Witter. There are many ways to measure success. Dean Witter measures success one investor at a time.
The instructor at this Massachusetts rink is well known to any
sports until one was betrayed.
Join the dynamic story of Nadia Comaneci. Having escaped from the communist world, she struggles to understand the parameters of freedom in the West and all that comes with living in a free country. Once again, here's Donna De Verona.
Welcome to America! Nadia's welcome to America was short-lived. Attention quickly shifted to the man at her side. Constantine Panit had helped her escape a few days after they met at a party in Romania.
This is my friend who helped me to come here. And I want to thank him.
It was revealed that her new friend was a married father of 4. Nadia was portrayed as a homewrecker. She was once again the captive of a man who sought to profit from her fame at the expense of her image.
I don't like that the people are starting to write things about me that they were not true. I haven't had a chance to talk with anybody because I've been controlled. Everything was controlled by him. There was a time when I thought, here I am in a free country, and I still cannot do what I want to do.
Did he ever hit you?
He was not very nice to me. That's what I can say about that. I was afraid that somebody's going to send me home. I was still under that system and power and afraid of anything. I didn't know what to do. And but somewhere behind my brain, there was a little door that gave me a little light that probably I can find somebody to help me to get out of, this nightmare that I have.
Nadia was rescued once more by a twist of fate. Romanian immigrant Alexander Stefu, a friend of Bela Caroli, sensed Nadia was in trouble and invited her to Montreal on the pretext of making a business deal. He knew this would lure Panit. Once there, Nadia confided that she needed help, and Stefan and his family offered their home a sanctuary. Panit fled, taking with him everything Nadia had earned. Panit's departure freed her to renew a friendship which had begun at the 1976 America's Cup when Nadia met Bart Conner on his 18th birthday. An Olympic champion in 1984, Bart had been attempting to contact Nadia ever since her escape. They appeared together on Nadia's first television special, which also brought her back together with Bela Karolyi. Nadia was on her way to building a future surrounded by people who believed in her. But then tragedy struck. Nadia's sense of security was shattered again when Alexander Stefu, the man who'd made her part of his family, drowned in a scuba diving accident. She called Bart.
I'll never forget, because I flew to Indianapolis to get ready for the World Gymnastics Championships, and as soon as I walked into the apartment, the phone was ringing, and I never heard her so terrorized in my life.
There's another starting from zero for me because I didn't know where to go, what to do.
So I said, come to Oklahoma. Why don't you come here? And I'll take care of you, and you can be with me, and we'll work it out. And from that moment on, she was in my life every day.
History placed Nadia on the world stage at a very young age, drove her from her homeland, and brought her here to the southern Great Plains of Norman, Oklahoma. And through it all, gymnastics has been the tie that binds Nadia to her past, to her future, and the man she loves, Bart Conner.
I pretty much trust him from the beginning, and then I started to trust him more, but there was nothing suspicious about him because I realized that he doesn't want anything from me.
What began as a friendship blossomed into a romance. Bart and Nadia are now engaged to be married. They are also partners in a myriad of business enterprises, including his gymnastics academy in Norman. Her life in America has shown us a side of Nadia we've never seen before.
I think, unfortunately, when we first saw Nadia, we saw a cold, hard, maybe not flattering, but a rather unattractive Nadia. And this is how she became as a result of her environment. And since she's been in the States, she's been able to chip away at that harder shell. And now you see, and I saw it a long time ago. I saw it before my friends knew it. My friends were like, what are you doing with that girl? And even my family was a little suspicious, you know. And I said, you know, there are some brilliant things about this young lady, and the world's going to see it someday. She's smart, she's interesting, she's unique, she's got character.
I love with passion, and I don't just don't play games with. I even do it or not. So I don't. He was a little, you know, I'm not sure if I. So this is what I had to teach him.
These two athletes coming from such different worlds would now almost seem incomplete without each other.
Everything he does I like, and I like that I learned a lot of things from him. And he always told me, you have to trust me, and you have to trust me because, you know, that's what everything is built around.
She was loved because of her perfect tens, and she was loved because she could make money for somebody. But I wanted her to know that she was loved because just who she is. Even now, there's a lot of secrets, there's a lot of things she will never tell me, I'm sure. She has to know that no matter what she says to me, it's not going to shake the foundation of what we have.
Coming up, Nadia takes Bart home to Romania for an unforgettable journey into her past. How much has her country really changed, and what has become of her friends and her family in the 5 years she has been gone? Turn to Romania perfectly to coincide with the World Team Gymnastics Championships in Dortmund, Germany. A sponsor of the Romanian national team, Nadia has donated $100,000 to help support them through the Olympic Games in Atlanta.
I was thinking a couple of years ago, what can I do, how can I be involved doing something for the Romanian Gymnastics Federation and also for the girls, because we've been so close friends, and I know that they don't have a very, very easy life, and I wanted to do something for them for what they did for me, and just, you know, help the program because they deserve to be helped.
Her investment is already reaping rewards. There might just be another Nadia on this team. On her last event in the competition, Lavinia Milosevic clinched the team championship. It was the first time Romania had been on top of the victory stand since Nadia led her team to the world title in 1979. They are out to prove that gymnastics is still Romania's #1 export. Then they were all off to Bucharest together, with lots of reasons to celebrate. Newspaper headlines announced the return of Nadia, the queen of gymnastics, and her engagement to Bart Connor. But even with all this attention, Nadia was apprehensive as she first set foot on Romanian soil in Timișoara. 5 years ago, she might have been captured here. This time, so many fans came to see her, she was asked to get off the plane to greet them. It was an unplanned moment that gave her a sense of what was to come. Nadia's dreams of being home again had finally come true. She was here by special invitation of the government, but she couldn't have imagined the scene waiting for her at the airport. Among the crowds and journalists, her mother Steffi was jostled by the hundreds of Romanians who had come to see and to touch and to talk to Nadia. It was sheer chaos. If Nadia had any fear she'd been forgotten, it was gone. Children not yet born when Nadia won gold chanted her name. In the arms of her friends and family, she began to feel the embrace of an entire nation. On this whirlwind tour, there was a need to know everything about Nadia. After all, there were 5 years of questions waiting to be asked. It was also a chance for Nadia to show Bart her Romania. They crisscrossed the country mainly by motorcade, meeting officials and dignitaries. Treated like a royal couple on a state visit, they met with the Minister of Sport and were official guests of Romania's Prime Minister. There were also places that brought back memories of darker times. The House of the Republic is rarely open to visitors. Nicolae Ceausescu destroyed the most beautiful section of Bucharest to make way for a presidential palace that would rival Versailles. While Romanians went cold and hungry, Ceausescu poured $1 billion into this still unfinished and empty structure. It looms over the city as a painful reminder of a system gone terribly wrong. The shadows of the past were lifted by a new generation of youngsters who welcomed Nadia and Bart with an outpouring of affection. Diva, the site of the Olympic Training Center, where Nadia prepared for the 1980 Olympics, was the setting for a nostalgic reception. The students surprised her with a song in English.
Dar acum eu învăț românește cu profesor Mama Nadia. Mulțumesc, vă doresc mult noroc și sănătate.
The highest official reception was given by Romanian President Iliescu, who congratulated the gold medal gymnastics team. In a country that has known such adversity, they are a great source of pride, and it all began with Nadia. Could you please try in English to say what it means to have Nadia return to Romania?
I think it is a general satisfaction for all the Romanians, because Nadia has remained in our heart. She was the first performer in the national gymnastics, and she remained in the memory of all the Romanians.
President Iliescu was so proud, he invited Nadia and Bart to hold their wedding in the palace. Coming up, the moment Nadia has been waiting for. She returns to her birthplace and reunites with the father she thought she might never see again.
The Pacific at Surfers Paradise, Queensland, Australia, where
The final stop of Nadia's journey would be the place she was born and where her father still lives. The village of Onești. The sound of the motorcade was an odd intrusion in this rural setting, signaling the arrival of a woman who brought honor and joy to this beleaguered country.
From Timișoara to Bucharest or home in Onești, people have traveled more than